Okay, you guys, so I got some new information. Well, it's not new information, but it's some information that ties all of this mess with the text messages between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. So, according to this website, Screen Rant, let's go back into when a lot of this stuff happened because it's going to tie a lot of the text messages and why they're so relevant right now together. So, back in November 27th of 2025, there was an article and it was titled Leaked Emails Claim Taylor Swift Witnessed Ryan Reynolds Confront Justin Baldoni over Blake Lively. So what that has to do with, there was an incident where Justin Baldoni talks about in some text messages and emails that he has with his co-workers that worked on the movie and that were working on the movie, that he was asked to come to Blake Lively's home for a meeting. So, according to the article, it reads, a recently unsealed piece of evidence in the ongoing lawsuit between Baldoni and Lively includes information regarding the events that transpired throughout the dispute. And remember, the dispute came about because Blake Lively was like bullying Justin Baldoni on the set. Like, at first they were cool, and then once the writer's strike ended and they came back to work, she started demanding all of these things. She wanted all of these rights to kind of like have credits, like production credits and writing credits on the movie. So one of the things that she was coming at him about was saying that he fat shamed her. So she asked for this meeting and he decided to come to her house where they were going to have the meeting. So according to the emails, Baldoni visited Blake Lively's home where her husband was at also. He was at this particular meeting as well, which everyone knows her husband is Ryan Reynolds. So upon his visit to their New York City home, Reynolds blew up at Baldoni, and this was due to his wife's claims that the Ends With Us director fat shamed her by asking her personal trainer what her weight was because he had to lift her up in a scene, and he had had back problems in the past. The email also noted that their famous friends, Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman, were in the apartment during the showdown. Blake Lively ambushed Justin Baldoni at that meeting with her dragons, like she said in her text messages prior, Taylor Swift, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and his friend Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, which is an A-list celebrity. So the scene was set up, what it looked like is that they were like bullying him with these A-list actors to try to make him allow her to get her way. So that particular meeting happened in April of 2023, but Blake didn't drop her lawsuit until December of 2024. Why the 20-month gap? That's because, remember, they had the writer's strike from May of 2023 to September of 2023, and then they finally got back to proceeding to production of the movie. And then that's when all of the drama happened. But what the problem is here is that Taylor Swift stated in all of her reps that she had nothing to do with it, that she was not involved, and that's why these text messages are so important, because that's not true. See, now we have a better understanding of why the text messages are so relevant, because right after Blake Lively dropped her December 2024 complaint against Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment and retaliation, there was a New York Times smear campaign against Justin Baldoni that came out that same day. And that's when Taylor Swift made the comment, "I think that bitch knows something's coming." Now, prior to that, Blake Lively tried to complain and say that Justin Baldoni is the one who put out a smear campaign against her based on a lot of backlash she was getting while promoting the movie. So this young lady here, Jamila Jamil, had sent some text messages to Justin Baldoni's publicist about how the movie was being promoted. She felt that Blake Lively was coming off very negative while she was promoting the movie, and she had some things to say about it. And she was one of multiple people that came out and said negative things about Blake Lively. But Blake Lively took that as Justin Baldoni was behind it, retaliating her for all the mess that she caused him during the production of the movie. And that's one of the reasons why she dropped the lawsuit. There were multiple text messages that Justin Baldoni produced once Blake Lively dropped this lawsuit against him, showing that everyone on staff was talking about how all of this backlash Blake Lively was getting because of the way that she was promoting the movie. But what does Taylor Swift have to do with this? Let's get back to that. Taylor Swift, her publicist came out and said that she had nothing to do with it, that she had never stepped foot on the set. And according to Taylor Swift's publicist, this is what she said. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release and was traveling around the globe during 2023 and 2024, headlining her biggest tour. Which we know is not true because according to all the emails, she was present during that meeting that was had with Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Hugh Jackman. And back to the text messages that got released the other day, the conversation was pertaining to the New York Times dropping a hit piece against Justin Baldoni the day that Blake Lively dropped her complaint against Justin Baldoni and where all this got started. And in the text messages, Taylor Swift says, never has a cancellation been reversed so fast. Taylor Swift allegedly wrote in unsealed text messages filed to Blake Lively's It Ends With Us lawsuit pertaining to the New York Times hit piece that was put out about Justin Baldoni. And the full quote is, "You won. You did it," says Taylor Swift to Blake Lively. Never has a cancellation been reversed so fast. And Lively responds saying, "I would not be okay through any of this if it weren't for you." So let's do a quick recap. After the writer's strike, when the movie resumed production, Blake Lively was wanting to try to take over different areas of the film and get credit for it. Justin Baldoni and his team were pushing back on her, and she wasn't having it. She wanted to have a meeting with him at her home. He gets there. He's ambushed allegedly by Taylor Swift, Ryan Reynolds, and Hugh Jackman. He's allegedly yelled at for fat shaming her on the set. And then after that, she, again, still wanted some things changed on the movie, and he continued to push back. After that, a lot of people were coming out about the way that she was promoting the movie. It was kind of more sabotage-ish, what a lot of other actors and nemesis and people were saying online, allegedly. And so Blake Lively took that as Justin Baldoni was retaliating against her. So then she turns around and drops a lawsuit against him for harassment and retaliation. And at the same time, the same day the lawsuit drops, there was a New York Times piece that hit piece against him that dropped. And that's around the time when the text messages came out between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift talking stuff about him, and she was congratulating her for the turnaround because she felt like, oh, he's retaliating against me, I'm going to retaliate against him. And that's when Taylor Swift said the whole turnaround comment. Since then, Justin Baldoni did drop a lawsuit against the New York Times and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, but a federal judge dismissed that case, and now it's just this sexual harassment retaliation case that's going on, and that's why all of these text messages have been released because they're in discovery, and we'll see what happens with the case. And I have been getting it wrong. They said that the trial is to be done in May if it goes forward, if nobody steps up and just decides to in the case or what have you. There's ways to do that. I'm not gonna say it on here, but anywho, so they're looking to go to court to trial in May of this year. So let me know what you guys think.